This is my best loud voice, so I hope everyone up the back can hear me. You would trust me, I left the microphone down in Hobart on my desk, so we'll have to do our best. My name's Heather Stewart, I'm a Public Information Officer, and I'm here to facilitate tonight's meeting. It's really great to see so many of you here, and I really encourage you, if you have any friends or family that couldn't make it, to pass on what you hear tonight. We rely on our community networks to get the messaging out. So tonight's meeting, we will have Incident Controller David Costella from Tasmania Fire Service give us an update on the fire first. Inspector Luke Manhood from Tas Police giving us an update on road closures. We will have Mayor Mick Tucker from Break of Day giving us his little spiel. Can't wait. I've also got statements to read from Tas Water and Tas Networks and some information about warnings. We will take questions at the end of the meeting. Really happy to answer any questions. It's just that I'm sure these guys have already got planned to answer them. So we'll run through the speeches first and do questions at the end. So the objective of tonight is to provide an update on the situation and the likely course of action over the coming days. Tonight is not the time to talk about fire mitigation, planning, or the cause of the fire, which is being investigated. We will keep all the questions to the end. Without further ado, I'll hand over to David.
Yeah, thanks very much, Heather. Look, thank you, everybody. I know over the last 2 days you've faced some pretty trying conditions, and just appreciate and thank you all for what has been over the last 2 days a pretty changeable condition that we've faced. So I'm here to give you an update tonight on how our progress has gone today, and I'm here with really good news for the firefighting efforts on the ground today. We have really consolidated the perimeter of the fire. The weather has been really good today, and our crews have done some really good work through our partner agencies and also with Tas Networks. So we've managed to reinstate the power out through the Stieglitz Akaroa area. So that's great positive. And our focus now is going to be not only consolidating the fire line to ensure that fire doesn't escape out of the current fire boundary, but we're also actively making sure that it is safe. So as our priority will be to reopen St Helens Point Road, but we are dealing with some dangerous trees through there at the moment. So that will be undertaken tomorrow. There'll be some tree fallers coming in with heavy equipment to deal with that. So as a priority, we can reopen St Helens Point Road. I can't give a definite timeline on that, but we'll be working on that through the morning with the objective to have that road opened at some point tomorrow. But as always, keep up to date through Tas alerts, and there'll be updates through that. But look, I can appreciate over the last couple of days the situation that you've been through. Credit to you. It has really been really positive community engagement that we've had. We're keeping you updated as best we can in all aspects. But today, as a real positive, has been great. Our crews have achieved quite a lot, and we're making the scene safe so as we can get you back to your homes as soon as possible.
Now, before I throw to Inspector Manhood, I realise I haven't explained what this camera is here for tonight. Obviously, I've walked in and there are no media signs, and we really want to respect that. This is a safe place, and we haven't allowed for camera crews to come in. This camera is purely recording the speakers, and that is for community members who couldn't make it here tonight. So just so you're aware, it's not filming the audience. Although a couple of you in that corner might sneak in there. Beautiful. I'll hand over to Inspector Manhood.
Thanks, Heather. Look, I just want to echo David's sentiments and thanking everyone for your patience and your cooperation. Obviously, the fire service are doing a tremendous job containing that fire in the fire boundaries that it currently is. In the back of Stieglitz area, so in the back of Perrin Street, Moriarty Road in particular, there's been a whole lot of firefighting efforts in there today. As the fire came through yesterday, closer to Tasman Highway, the fire did burn right down to the highway and in some cases got across the highway, In the course of it doing that, it has burnt some power lines. We had power lines across the road, across St Helens Point Road. We've also had trees fall across the road. And as David indicated, we've got, there's a section just past Parkside where there's a number of great big pine trees that have been burnt. They're at risk of falling. And if they fall, they're going to fall on the power lines. So it creates a really substantial risk. If people were to drive through there, there's a risk of trees falling on them. There's a risk of the trees bringing down power lines and power lines coming down on top of cars. And it's just too big a risk to let people go in. So while I understand that everyone's frustrated that they would like to get home, for safety reasons, we just can't let people through at the moment. And also, we've got firefighters in there. The fire service is having to get vehicles through, and Parks and Wildlife and Sustainable Timbers, and we just can't afford to have people getting in the road of the firefighting efforts as well. So, as David said, our number one priority at the moment is getting that road and those trees assessed. Tas Networks have got the power back on. We think we've largely remedied the issues with the power lines. We just need to fix these trees so that we don't have further issues with them. Hopefully we'll have that road open tomorrow. When it is open, that will be published on Tas Alert. That's our sort of number one source of truth for everything. I know today I kept getting interrupted while I was doing other things. About every 5 minutes someone was ringing up to say that apparently the Tasman Highway is cut, which it's not, because rumours get around. So rather than depend on rumours, just go to that Tas Alert site. We're very forthright and upfront about what's going on, and it will have that first-hand information there. Thanks everyone. Yeah, as I said, the road will be shut for tonight, but aiming to get it open at some stage tomorrow.
And now I'd like to welcome Mick Tucker.
Look, thank you everybody. I'm just here just to say 2 or 3 things. Thank you so much for our community, but I also want to say, in a disaster, the goodwill of our community comes right to the top. And the amount of people who've been volunteering, the amount of people who's been cooking, the amount of people that are just ringing Launceston and sending food down because they want to do it. We've got people in Campbelltown. We are not alone, and we have some of the best people on the ground. Behind me here, the Fire Brigade have done an absolute amazing job. Our volunteers, I think we've had something like 28 fire crews there and all the services. I cannot thank anybody enough more than the Fire Brigade, Tas Fire Service, the police, everybody for keeping everybody informed, been very clear. They are the word of truth. So we don't go out and spruik anything that we are not 100% sure of. And the police have been doing an amazing job. So thanks everybody for just being as kind as what you are to everybody, and thank everybody for doing what we're doing.
Thanks, Mick. Now you get to all look at me looking at my phone, because I haven't had a chance to print this one out. This is an update from Tas Water that they've sent through for us. I'm going to read it out. I'm not the best reader, so if I stumble a word or two, you'll have to forgive me. The following is attributed to Tas Water Incident Controller Nicholas McCulloch, and he wanted to let you know that there have been no interruptions to water and sewerage services in the area so far. Fire crews have been able to draw water from hydrants for firefighting purposes. Tas Water crews have been out into the affected area where safe, monitoring infrastructure, water, sewerage levels, and undertaking essential maintenance to ensure service. Lagoon levels at the sewage treatment plant remain manageable. Some water used to fight the fire is being drawn from the drinking water network, which may impact on water pressure for customers. So we ask that everyone conserves water where possible. Now, this doesn't apply to you guys because you're already out. You can't go back in just yet and fix it. But if you are evacuating, we ask that customers don't leave taps, hoses or sprinklers running to ensure the water pressure. Tas Water will undertake a more detailed impact assessment as soon as it is safe to do so, and they want to assure you that they stand ready to assist with recovery efforts. Tas Networks also provided me with an update, but that has since been updated in that they have now restored power to the area, so I think we can all be very thankful for that. I know a lot of people at the community meeting this afternoon said their mobiles were just about to run flat, so if you haven't heard from anyone, that's possibly why. That is all of those updates. Beautiful. The one last thing on the agenda I need to talk about is what every speaker tonight has mentioned. Tas Alert is the Tasmanian Government's single source of truth. Any changes to our messaging will go out on Tas Alert first and via ABC local radio. Then they'll go out through media and other channels. So I really encourage you to keep an eye on Tas Alert. Anything that changes will go out that way. And now we can take questions. Does anyone have any?
How many homes were lost?
From you, David?
Yes, so there's been 2 homes that have been confirmed as destroyed. We've had some outbuildings, sheds and another out...
And whereabouts were those homes?
They were on St Helens Point Road.
Could you give me an indication of where, because that's where I live?
They were in the area of the just down from the Scout Hall, but I've been in contact with the owner, or police have been in contact with the owners of the properties affected. And
Gone south of the, what did you say?
The Scout
The Scout Hall.
Yes.
And they're the 2 homes that went.
Yeah.
I know the homes you were talking about.
And the owners of those homes have been notified. So if you haven't heard from us, it's not you.
Thanks very much indeed.
But look, just on that point, given the conditions last night, and Brigade Chief of St Helens and Michael Orlick, the group officer, dealt with the fires last night. It was a great effort by the crews. It could have been so much worse. So 2 homes have been lost, unfortunately, and a number of outbuildings and some caravans.
Not so many as Dolphin Sound, for God's sake.
Given the conditions last night, as you're all well aware, the situation could have been quite more severe.
Thank you.
Now I think we had another one here.
Yeah, you may not know the answer to this, maybe the firefighters do, but any idea of the impact to wildlife in the area?
Yes, we have had some discussions around some impact to the wildlife, and given the nature of that fire and the ferocity of it and the speed that it worked through it, animals, being animals, will run out of the fire. So there have been some, unfortunately, some animal losses. Yeah.
So you may not know till later on.
Yeah, we're going to have wildlife assessment crews come in and make that. Yeah, we will have wildlife assessment crews coming in to deal with that issue.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Yep, right down the back.
Going forward, do we have to have any concerns going forward? Any recognition or anything like that to concern about?
Yeah, certainly we're not out of the woods yet. Friday, the weather is looking significantly increased temperature with some wind. So, yeah, our focus is not only around the tree, dangerous trees around St Helens Point Road, but also consolidating the fire into its current boundary. We've got really good fire breaks around it, but we're just constantly monitoring that, making sure crews are blackening out to make sure that there's no potential for fires to pop up out of that. If the weather is hot, dry and windy, then that's going to cause us some problems. But that is one of our key strategies, to make sure that we're not having any fire escape out of its current boundaries. But as always, we're not out of the woods yet, as I've said. People will still need to be aware, and we'll be updating our Tas alerts with updated information.
Now I can see we've got a question down the front here.
Is the fire under control yet?
No, we can't call it fully under control yet, but thankfully today we've had a really good day. We've had a great day firefighting, so we've still got a little ways to go.
Yes.
What about the area around Diana's Basin?
The area around Diana's Basin.
Yeah, okay, so crews are still working down in the area of Diana's Basin. Today there was still some active areas of fire there, but they've dealt with those today, but it's still an ongoing operation down in that area, as it is up through the Tasman Highway boundary and across through the northern boundary behind the houses around Stieglitz and Akaroa. So, yeah, but we have got the situation in a much better position today after the crew's efforts on the ground.
I can see we have one over here.
On Perrin Street, behind us is the bush. When I went up there, we sent us up there to do evacuation of people from Stieglitz boat camp. I went up there and had a look, and the guys said that they might be going to backburn that section behind 56 through to 60, and that, so it went back in towards the dunes. Did that happen, or?
When you were talking, that was last night where you were talking to...
That was this morning at about 8.
Jody went in the boat to help with the evacuation of the people that went evacuated from Perrin Street this morning.
Okay. There was some fire that broke out in around that area today. The crews have told me that it's burnt up to the back of the houses. There is a small area of unburnt vegetation in that area, but after today, when the emergency alert went out this morning, that fire did get pretty close into houses right in that area. So that has...
Well, Tolly went up and down with the grader there a couple of times, and I went up there to have a look to see, everyone was hosing their fences down and their houses and all that sort of thing. So I just wondered whether it was a backburn to protect all the back of
No,
Perrin Street.
it wasn't backburn. No, it wasn't backburning there. But yeah, our crews in that sector have reported there is a small area of vegetation that when conditions are right, that they possibly will burn out just to make that secure. But backburning is a very dangerous operation, particularly when we've just been through what we have. So we'll only do that when conditions are right.
Yes, from our paramedic down the back.
Just wondering how many crews you have on the ground overnight, like doing patrols and is there any personnel across them?
Yeah, so we'll have crews working up until about 11 o'clock tonight. We've got approximately 8 crews working up until 11 o'clock. And then overnight we'll have just some crews on patrol through the night. So yeah, if anything is of concern for people in St Helens, they can just ring 000, and then we'll have crews deal with that, the local brigade as well, and deal with any issues that might arise overnight.
We also have police crews from Launceston that are down assisting, so normally we have a relatively small contingent of police working in St Helens itself. That contingent's been tripled with the addition of some extra crews, so we have crews working this evening and they'll be working all through the night as well, and additional crews coming tomorrow. So all those areas where your houses are, there'll be police in those areas patrolling them, and police in the town generally. So we've got quite a big contingent as well.
Why do they ask the people doing horrible things like robbing stuff from your house?
Well, thankfully this is not the sort of community where that sort of thing happens, but we just want to make sure that everyone...
They come down from Lonnie's to do it. Sorry.
They can't get through the roadblocks, so that's safe.
But look, I suppose I just want to reassure you that we do have sufficient resources on town that if anything happens, there are police looking after the area as well, working with the fire service. And if things change and we need to do things like change road closures or evacuate people, we've got plenty of resources to do it.
Good, thank you very much.
So I'm going to throw to the gentleman in the grey, and then I think we've got one more over here, and then I think we might wrap up for questions. Beautiful, all right.
Yeah, thank you. Two-part question. Was the aerodrome impacted, and is it still operational?
At the moment, we have closed the airport. There was no impact to it. We've just closed it for safety reasons, and people can't get to it because the road's closed anyway. So, but an assessment will have to be done just to make sure that it is able to be reopened and operational, but thankfully the fire hasn't impacted there.
Beautiful. And over here.
How long do you think it'll be before the air quality is good enough for people that have got serious asthma issues, health issues, to be able to return home, given the weather forecast and the way the wind sounds like it's going to come in the next few days?
We're back onto the bush in Heron Street, like, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's look, that's something that we will look at. Currently got smoke alerts in place for the St Helens area, but yeah, we can certainly get some updated information around air quality, and we can put that through in our messaging.
More than happy to.
Yeah. So as we've said through the course of the night, with our community information, we'll get that updated there, so as you've got a good understanding of what the air quality will be like.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Now, we will all be hanging around for a little while, so if you want to come and ask questions one-on-one, we'll be here for a short time. But before I wrap up, first of all, I want to thank you all for coming in. Thank you all for taking the time to come in and listen to us ask your questions. We really appreciate that. And we really appreciate your patience during this time, which has obviously been unsettling. What I would like to do quickly, I don't know whether anyone heard at about 4 o'clock this afternoon a cheer from out at Stieglitz? No? Right, so they had quite a loud cheer, and I just want to see whether we can beat that here. Do we have any volunteer fireys in the room? No? No. I can see someone sitting on their hands there. Right, look. I'd actually just like everyone in the room to put your hands together, and they will see this on the video later. This is for all of our firefighters, all of our SES workers, all of our police and paramedics, all of our council staff who've been in here manning the evac centre. Every man and their dog. No, Tas Networks, Tas Water, you name it. There's been a whole lot of people who have really stepped in to help these fires. I have missed our partner firefighting agencies, the Parks and Wildlife Service and Sustainable Timber Tasmania. So there's been a whole lot of people out there, and I think in this room it would be really great if we could just give them a big clap. The footy club that did the Spag Bowl tonight. I hear it was good. Wonderful. Look, thank you very much. We will continue to update Tas Alerts and ABC Radio as things change and progress, so please keep informed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.